Alright, so we're going to look at multiplying polynomials now, and you have done this before, so this is just a little more review for us. We just need to kind of knock the dust off and remember what we have to do when we multiply polynomials. Basically what you're doing is using your distributive property. And you're going to multiply every term in the second polynomial by every term in the first one. And so distributive property just says x times x squared gives me x cubed. X times 4x gives me a positive 4x squared. And x times negative 3 gives me a negative 3x. And so on. And then I would distribute the two, and I would combine like terms. That's the gist of it. That's really all there is to it. So we're going to do a few examples together. We're going to do some together. You're going to do some on your own, and we're going to check, and then we'll be done with this. And this is probably going to take the full time. So if I talk too fast, back up and listen again. When I tell you to pause the video and do the example, pause the video and you do the example. Don't wait for me to just throw the answer up there, because that's not how this is supposed to work. Alright, so here we go. Multiplying a monomial times any other polynomial, just using your distributive property. That's going to give me 3x to the 6. That's going to give me a positive 12x squared. I'm sorry, that's a 2 and a 3, and that gives me 5. Those numbers are hard to read. I apologize for that. So I distributed the 3x squared to the x cubed. It got 3x. Oh, my great day in the morning. 3x to the 5th. And then 3x squared times 4 gives me 12x squared. Same thing here. Distribute the AB. So that gives me a to the 4th b. That gives me 3a squared b cubed. Remembering your properties of exponents. When you multiply like bases, you add, and that gives me a negative ab cubed. Pause the video, and you do 1a and 1b, and then come back and check it. Okay, so just checking using your distributive property. I distributed that 3cd squared to every term in that second polynomial, and this is what I got. And then for 1b, I distributed the x squared y to every term in that second polynomial. And if I do one term to 4 terms, I should get 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so now I'm going to show you different methods for multiplying polynomials where neither polynomial is a monomial. I'm going to show you how to do horizontal multiplication, which is really just your distributive property. Don't write really big right here, because you'll run out of room if you do. So for my distributive property, I like to get them in standard form first, so that my answer is in standard form whenever I'm finished and I don't have to do rearranging at the end. I'd rather go ahead and rearrange at the beginning. So that's what I got. Now I'm going to distribute the x to everything in that second polynomial. So x times negative x squared gives me negative x cubed. X times 3x gives me a positive 3x squared. X times 1 gives me x. Now distribute the negative 2. That gives me a positive 2x squared. That gives me a negative 6x. And that gives me a negative 2. I stacked them so that I can just combine like terms now. And I don't have room to put them down here. I'm going to do it and just write over what I had right there. So I've got negative x cubed. 3 and 2 gives me a 5x squared. 1 minus 6 gives me a negative 5x. And then there's a minus 2. That's my answer. So let's see if we get that same answer doing different methods. Vertical multiplication is exactly like when you were in elementary school and y'all learned how to do things like this. And you did that multiplication where you distributed the 2 to everything, and then you ran the 1 through everything, and then you had stuff stacked up and lined up by place value. You do the same thing with a polynomial. You can stack them and multiply them like that. So looking at the same problem, I'm going to put it in standard form like I did a minute ago. And I'm going to multiply everything by that negative 2. So that's going to give me a positive 2x squared, negative 6x, negative 2. I just did this. Negative 2 times here, negative 2 times here, negative 2 times here. Now I'm going to multiply the x through to everything. So x times negative x squared gives me a negative x cubed. X times 3x gives me a positive 3x squared. X times 1 gives me a positive x. If you'll stack them by like terms, then you have your answer really easy right there in front of you. And notice that this answer is the exact same as this one. I just got there a different way. The third method, back up and watch that again if you want to, but the third method, okay, sorry about that, I had a visitor. So now we're going to do the box method, which you've probably seen before. You've at least seen it in science, and I just don't remember right off the top of my head what the name of it is, something about a square. Anyway, this is how you do it. If you've got a 2-term polynomial times a 3-term polynomial, I'm using the same one, then you do this box method. If it's a binomial times a trinomial, then I'm going to do a binomial, x and negative 2, times my, okay, let's try that one more time. I have another visitor. So I'm going to put my x minus 2 here, and then I'm going to take the other one. I'm still using this. I'm going to put it in standard form. I've got a negative x squared, a positive 3x, and a positive 1. And you don't have to do this box method. You can do your distributive property. You can do the vertical. You can do this. I just want you to have options. With this, it's like the, what is it called? I can't think of it. Anyway, in science, where you do the genes, like the recessive and the dominant traits, you just multiply. So that's going to give me a negative x cubed. These two are going to give me a positive 3x squared. Multiply, I'm going to get a positive 1x. Multiply, I'm going to get a positive 2x squared. Multiply, I'm going to get a negative 6x. Multiply, I'm going to get a negative 3. Most of the time, this is what's going to happen. This isn't going to have a common term to go with it, so it's just negative x cubed. These are going to be like terms. These are going to be like terms. And then this is not going to have anything to go with it. It doesn't happen like that every time, but most of the time it will. It's going to happen like that if your exponents are 3, 2, 1, or 2, 1, and 2, 1, and then not a variable, and these are in standard form without terms missing also. That's when that's going to happen. So you've got options for, you've got 3 different ways to do it. You can do your distributive property, stack them and add them. You can do your vertical multiplication where you stack them and multiply them and then add them, or you can do this box method. You pick whatever you want to do. I'm going to do a little bit of all 3. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like this vertical multiplication. It's confusing to me and I get stuck sometimes and I make mistakes. I really prefer the distributive property and the box method depending on what my problem is. So I'm going to do these over here. If it's just a binomial times a binomial, that distributive property is really easy. That's going to give me a positive 4x squared. That's going to give me a positive 6x. That is going to give me a positive 12x. Multiply, I'm going to get a positive 18. And then stack and add. So I have 4x squared plus 18x plus 18. If it's a binomial times a trinomial, I'm not going to lie, I like the box method. The box method is good if you have trouble organizing and you need a way to keep stuff all grouped like it's supposed to be. So x squared, x, and 3, it's already in standard form. Already in standard form, now you multiply. So I get 4x cubed, 4x squared, 12x. Excuse me, 4x squared, 4x, and 12. Combine like terms, and they're usually going to be on the diagonal. So I've got a 4x cubed, an 8x squared, 16x, and 12. For number 3, I'm going to do, that's a trinomial times a trinomial. Honestly, The box method, I'm not trying to sell you on one method over another, but this one, to me, because you have so many things that you're multiplying, the box method is easier. My opinion. If you don't like it, don't do it. So here's, I'm going to have a 3 by 3 box. So I've got k squared minus 2k minus 3, 8k squared plus 2k plus 3. And you multiply 8k cubed, 8k to the 4th, 12k cubed, 3k squared, negative 16k cubed, negative 24k squared, negative 6k. Now the negative 3. That's going to give me a negative 24k squared. That's going to give me a negative 6k. That's going to give me a negative 9. Notice the diagonals are my like terms. So I've got an 8k to the 4th. Negative 16 and 12 is going to give me a negative 4k cubed. Negative 24 and negative 24 is negative 48. And negative 48 plus 3 gives me a negative 45k squared. Negative 6k and negative 6k is negative 12k minus 9. And that's my answer. As long as I did my math right, and I think I did, 8k to the 4th. Oh, poop. That's a 2. Son of a nutcracker. So that's 2k cubed, not 12k cubed. That's going to change everything. 3k squared. Yeah, I just totally... Man, how did I do that? Because I can't read my own handwriting. Some of you are dying because I already made a mistake and you're wanting to tell me so bad and you couldn't. Negative 16k cubed, negative 4k squared, negative 6k, negative 24k squared. Now how did I get that part right and the rest of it wrong? Negative 6k, negative 9. So that's going to change my answer. I apologize for being a doofus. Just made a mistake. It happens. So I've got 8k to the 4th. Back up and rewatch that if you didn't catch my mistake. Negative 16 and positive 2 gives me negative 14k cubed. Negative 24 and negative 4 is negative 28. And negative 28 plus 3 is negative 25k squared. Negative 6 and negative 6 gives me a negative 12k minus 9. There's the right answer. And, oh, holy moly. Number 4, I'm going to just do my distributive property for those of you that are wanting that. So that gives me 35v cubed. And that gives me 10v squared. Distribute the negative 2. And I get a negative 14v squared and a negative 4v. Distribute the negative 5. I get negative 35v and a negative 10. Notice what I did. I stacked them by like terms, so I can just combine now. So I have 35v cubed minus 4v squared minus 39v minus 10. So I want you to pause the video right here, pause the video, do these next 6 on your own, and then just come back and check them. Just to make sure you've got it down pat, use whatever method you want to. Alright, so there's not a ton of time left on my lesson. I'm at 14 minutes, so you're probably going to need to pause the video just so you can look these over and see what I did and how I got what I got. I used my distributive property on the first 4, and then I used the box method on the last 2. If you got them right, that's awesome. If I made a mistake, I'm so sorry. I tried to not to, but I'm trying to hurry and get out of here. But check them. If you think I made a mistake, just let me know, and we can fix it. If you know I made a mistake, then you fix it on your paper and let me know so that other people can know that there's a mistake.